No.
Seriously, this is a good kid. You never let me go.
Let's start with the guardianship of Shiloh Weaver.
Good morning, Your Honor. Sherry Farr for the guardian ad litem.
Do we have Ms. Woodruff or Mr. Doble? I don't see Mr. Anagnostou. All right, let's come back to that one. Guardianship of Lance Lewis.
Good morning, Your Honor. Counsel for the father in this matter.
Dina Day, guardian ad litem.
See Mr. Anagnostou on this one. Nope, I just checked. Okay. Let's see. Guardianship of Emma Ryan.
Oh, yay.
Morning, Your Honor.
My God, we know.
All right, we have Mr. Floody. There we are.
Morning, Your Honor.
All right, guardianship of Emma Ryan, sir. Where are we?
Your Honor, so the latest update was I spoke with opposing counsel, Mr. Gaudet, who is appearing today, I believe. I see his avatar on, and I also see Miss Ryan and my client as well. Currently, Your Honor, the latest news was that Miss Ryan was at the shelter in Tacoma with Emma. We were attempting to get Emma from there. My clients traveled there from Seaside, Oregon, which is about an 8-hour drive. They waited there for an opportunity for Emma to come out. That opportunity didn't happen, and unfortunately, they had to go. At this moment, Emma is. We don't know where Emma is. We don't know where Miss Ryan is. The bottom line is the court ordered last week that she was supposed to forfeit Emma over to my client. That has not happened. I told this to opposing counsel, as he, I think, was told a different version of the facts from his client. And
no, it's not right in front of me.
Go ahead.
And I believe that he was not even of the understanding that, based on what his client said, that there was a court order violated or anything like that. I also was told to me that my client had attended the restraining order hearing for Mr. Johnson, another father of another child of Miss Ryan. And on the record, Miss Ryan had told the court that my client was not a guardian to Emma, that was not a true case. So not only do we have someone evading court order, but now is making efforts to falsify and discredit this court's rulings in other courts. So I think that's all important for the record, Your Honor. We have not made any progress as far as Emma being placed in my client's care. As I said, my client's out on a business trip, Your Honor, but they said they can be home at a moment's notice if the police or DCYF, whoever is able to
Let them know what to do from here.
get a hold of Emma. So that's where we stand right now, Your Honor.
Mr.
You're all
Goodwin?
right. Your Honor, so I did speak with my client yesterday after when I spoke with opposing counsel. So Emma's with my client's mother. She's on the Zoom today, Celeste Mitchell. She lives in California. She's the biological grandmother to Emma. My clients showed some forms that they signed guardianship over in April, and there's orders in California. There's a restraining order protecting Emma from the Englishes. I understand that's been filed in California court.
Have you seen any of that?
Miss Mitchell did send me an email. I could forward it over. I was gonna get, I figured maybe we might want a continuance to get those in front of Your Honor and a declaration. But I think there might be also a jurisdictional issue here because no one's in Cowlitz. I believe the Englishes are in Oregon, Miss Mitchell's in San Diego, and my client's in Thurston and has lived in Thurston for over a year now. So I don't know why we're here in Cowlitz County.
Your Honor, we can address that issue.
Yes, sir.
Your Honor, Miss Ryan's last known address was in Cowlitz County. We've had no knowledge that, if she has been, living this vagrant lifestyle or in Tacoma, wherever, that may be true, but her last address that we have on record was in Cowlitz County. So, per court rules, we filed where it was appropriate. So that is the reason being that we filed here.
And Your Honor, I looked on Odyssey and I saw that Miss Ryan had filed a protection order against Mr. Johnson. He filed a declaration on behalf of the petitioners, but that was filed in Thurston County as well in 2022.
Well, it sounds like I'm not in a position to really fault the petitioners for being a step behind her in her moves. Obviously, we have no idea what's going on in California, and I'm not in a position to accept Ms. Ryan's word for what may be going on. It sounds like we need to find out whatever the heck is happening in California. And it may be that there's a need for a CJEA conference. So Mr. Goodday, have you got actual paperwork from the state of California?
Your Honor, Miss Mitchell's here on Zoom. She sent me an email with a couple PDFs. I can forward that over right now if you want to look at what we have right now, or you can, Miss Mitchell was raising her hand. I think she wanted to address you.
Ms. Mitchell?
Good morning, Your Honor. Thank you so much for letting me speak. Emma Ryan has been living with me since April of this year.
I can't understand what you're saying.
Oh, I'm sorry. Let me see if I can turn my volume up a bit. Can you hear me now?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, thank you, sir. Emma Ryan, who's named after me, has been living with me since April of this year based off of a course of abuse issue with her ex-husband. And she's doing beautifully. She's involved in school.
Ma'am, let me ask you a question.
Okay.
Is there any paperwork from the state of California courts?
Yes, sir. I have an emergency protective order that covers myself, my husband, and Emma Celeste Ryan against the Englishes and Jared Johnson. There's also another in Thurston County that also protects Emma Celeste Ryan, as well as guardianship paper that was signed, Your Honor, and witnessed, and also is in the Superior Court of San Diego for guardianship for Emma. And all those things were sent to the attorney, and he has all of that. So she's been with me a good portion of the year, and she spends every summer with me. She has a play next week.
Yeah.
She's very involved.
Okay.
Okay.
All right. So Mr. Goodday, forward whatever you have to Mr. Flay. I'm not going to make any change in any of the orders here right now until we have a chance to see that. Mr. Flay, you want 1 week or 2?
Your Honor, this is all new information to us.
Right, clearly.
Yeah, so I I think we would like an answer as soon as possible. If we can, I would ask a week. I don't think there should be any delay for opposing counsel to send us all that information as soon as possible. But I mean, if we need to file declarations, we have eyewitnesses that saw Emma in the shelter with Miss Ryan. So I do not know where that information that she's lived in California. I mean,
Yeah, well, obviously, I'm as much in the dark as you are at this point. So,
Understood.
Mr. Goodday, forward everything you've got to Mr. Flay.
Yes, Your
Mr. Flay, yeah, I don't know where that puts us, so let's put the matter out 2 weeks.
Your Honor, may I ask that we have school records or something proving the fact that if Emma's been living there for the past year, that that's in fact true? I guess I just don't really know how to.
Well, so Ms. Mitchell, do you have an attorney in California who's handling this?
I do not, sir. We've actually interviewed several. We will be, but we've already begun the guardianship. But I have her school papers. I have her records. She's.
Mr. Goodday, make sure you've got all the contact information for Ms. Mitchell. Forward that to Mr. Flay as well.
Yes, Your Honor.
And November the 9th at 10:30.
And Mr. Flay, is your email on the documents that have been filed?
It would be on our notice of appearance, yes, but I've emailed your office actually twice in the past week and haven't received a response, so you should have my email address.
Respectfully, Your Honor, I'd like to make sure I can keep Emma here and keep her safe and going to school and in her place.
I'm not in a position to make any ruling whatsoever about what's going on in California.
So, Your Honor, just to clarify, what exists of the order as it is now?
I'm going to maintain the emergency order because I haven't seen anything that tells me I shouldn't. And that will be extended through November 9th.
So, Your Honor, just to clarify, my client will not have Emma in their care, but will be considered the emergency guardian.
Where Emma is now or is going to be, I don't know, and I'm not making any guesses at. I'm just continuing the existing emergency guardianship order.
Understood, Your Honor. Sorry, I just.
Yeah, I understand.
Thank
It's
you.
2 weeks to the 9th.
Yes, sir.
Okay.
All right, sir, if you're here for a criminal docket, that's in a different court. Well, you might want to check again. Okay, guardianship of Shiloh Weaver. See Mr. Anagnostou.
I'm here, Your Honor.
Do we have Mr. Woodruff? Or Ms. Woodruff or Mr. Doble? Would appear not. Mr. Anagnostou, do you know where we stand?
I do not. I attempted to get a hold of my client yesterday. She called me back today. I haven't had a chance to talk to her, but I'm looking to see if she's here. Yeah, she's here.
So, Ms. Farr?
Yes, Your Honor. So I believe that I'm ready to write my report. I just need a week or two to get that done. I've recently talked with the mother and the petitioners to get updates, and I just need a little time to get my report written.
And I know at least the issue has been visitation with my client. And she is present here, Your Honor.
Actually, I think visitation's in place, and I don't think there's any issues with visitation right now.
Well, my concern is we don't have the petitioners here. We're running 7 months now on an emergency guardianship. Ms. Farr, do you know, have they filed for a guardianship?
I can tell you real quick. I thought. Sorry, Your Honor, just give me 1 second here. I thought they did. Yes, the regular petition was filed in March.
March 8th of,
right? Ugh. Well, it sounds like I'm going to have to extend the emergency guardianship yet again to November 9th. Ms. Farr, would you please let the petitioners know that if they don't appear on November 9th, it's going to be very difficult for me not to dismiss this.
Yes, Your Honor, I will.
All right, I think that's all we can do right now.
Thank you.
go over to November 9th.
Yes.
Thank you, Your Honor.
Guardianship of Lance Lewis.
Good morning again, Your Honor. Counsel for the father.
Yes, sir.
Right now,
And-
I'm going to,
Oh, sorry, Kurt.
yeah, counsel for the mother.
Do we have the Levitts here?
I'm here. The camera's not working, but I'm here. Can you hear me?
Yes, I can. And we are on for presentation of orders today.
Yes, Your Honor, I provided those in advance as they were completed by Ms. Levitt. I understood from previous hearings that this was agreed. I received notice late last night from Mr. Anagnostou that mother wanted some changes. I don't know if Ms. Levitt is agreeable to that, and I do not know what father's position is.
Your Honor, just to speak briefly, the father's amendable to more than amendable, actually, to entering into the agreed orders. I just haven't had a chance yet since I saw the mother's proposed non-substantive revisions to the order. I would just need to consult with my client. But again, to be clear, my client doesn't oppose entry of the orders today. I'm going to defer to Mr. Anagnostou now, though, for what his client's position is.
Mr. Anagnostou?
Yes, Your Honor. My client is in agreement to the guardianship. Basically the devil's in the details when it comes to the order. We had made, as indicated by counsel, that some non-substantive changes. The guardianship gets granted to Miss Levitt and her husband Roy, but kind of the terms of the details, we had a couple of minor changes to them. I've initialed those and submitted them to everyone, and think that this is still an agreed guardianship.
And Your Honor, just to affirm that that's my understanding there too. It just seems that counsels and the court visitor need to all confer outside of the proceeding just to make sure we're on the same page there.
Ms. Levitt, have you had a chance to look at the proposed amendments?
No, I did not.
So, Your Honor, from my perspective, one of the changes that was requested is that the petitioner provide notice to mother and information regarding school, any trips out of the area, that type of stuff, which I think is probably agreeable with Ms. Levitt. I don't want to speak for her, but I don't see any objection to that. The other changes are significant, in my opinion, just based on what it would require for Lance to go through. The current schedule as proposed is alternating weekends with mom and the opposite weekend with dad for day visits and a midweek visit. Those were the handwritten changes included an overnight visit for mom and every weekend, which literally just imposes an untenable schedule for Lance. I think that it makes the most sense in what was discussed and is probably the most manageable for Lance, who's a very young child, to have every other weekend contact with each of his parents and a midweek. I don't think it's appropriate for overnights at this time. I don't think we've progressed to that far. That's my input on the change in visitation. And then I think the other change has to do with findings. Mr. Anagnostou struck the findings regarding the mother with neglect. And I'll leave that up to the court to decide how they want to proceed with that.
Your Honor, yeah, we object to my client objected to being a finding of neglect. She doesn't believe she's ever been neglectful. She does have a housing issue, as some people end up with, having to live out of their car. But in any event, she's agreeable to the guardianship and does not believe that she committed neglect to her son. She's tried to stay in his life. And the visitation, my understanding, is what they've been doing. But maybe
Well, it sounds to me like we're gonna have to set an evidentiary hearing to sort these last few issues out. So when's the next?
I can't, we've been to court like 8 times. I'm trying to do everything that the court has asked me to. I just can't miss work anymore, you guys. It's costing me a fortune.
The problem is, we are on today for presentation of agreed paperwork to finalize this. It sounds like it's not all agreed. Maybe a lot of it is, but not all of it. So the only option is to set a trial to sort those issues out. So when's our next? All right, so I'm putting it on the trial assignment calendar for November 8th at 1 o'clock.
Lance has a doctor appointment in Vancouver on that day.
Okay, well,
Miss Lewis, would you be okay if I appear and then I just share that information with you when the next earliest appointment date would be for the evidentiary hearing?
Oh, I don't have a problem with that at all, Tina.
counsel, in the meantime, so we've got something in place. My proposal would be that I sign the orders as presented, noting that they're not completely agreed. They're just a placeholder until we can have that evidentiary hearing. Any objection to that? I'll note that the visitation schedule is not agreed.
That's what we want, is to be able to visit.
But with that, any objection, Mr. Anagnostou?
As long as we can reserve our requests in the final order that I've submitted, if those are still reserved for a hearing.
And Your Honor, I would ask the same then, just per my client's remarks there, since we had one, as I emailed with counsel and the court visitor yesterday, my client just had one recommended revision with regards to adding his schedule. I would echo Mr. Anagnosou's comments there.
All right, I'm noting not agreed on the neglect. Not agreed on the portion of the parenting plan relating to overnights.
Your Honor, I have been letting him spend the night with her every other weekend.
All right, and I'll sign the order with those caveats, and then November the 8th, 1 o'clock for trial assignment.
Thank you, Your Honor.
Thank you, Your Honor.
Thank you, Your Honor.
And if you're here for a criminal docket, you should be in a different court. Guardianship of Royer.
Amanda Holder here representing Ms. Counselor in the matter.
And where are we, counsel?
We have filed for an emergency guardianship. I believe you have the pleadings in front of you. If you've read them, we think that it is an order has been granted for the emergency guardianship for the time being. We have a full guardianship hearing set for November 9th. Service on this one has been an issue. We are unsure where mom is, which goes back to why the emergency protective order was granted for the petition for the emergency. She just showed up Still can't get a hold of her. My client hasn't talked to her since the day that she just randomly came to her daughter's school. So we're waiting on the service for that one, but the hearing is set.
I just lost your audio there at the end. No,
How about now?
that's better.
Okay, my apologies. It's a technological issue between my monitors. We have the full guardianship hearing set for November 9th. We are asking, an order has already been granted in this case. We're asking the emergency petition, emergency guardianship to be extended until the full hearing on the 9th. We're still waiting for mom and dad to be served in this matter.
Right, and just to check, do we have Kevin or Melissa Royer present? I have R. Royer's iPhone.
That is the children's grandfather. Yes.
All right. Then we'll extend the emergency guardianship through the petition on the 9th.
Thank you, Your Honor.
Guardianship of Malachi Muncie and Ezekiel Birchfield.
Hi, Your Honor. I'm Janetta Birchfield. I'm Malachi Muncie and Ezekiel Birchfield's grandmother. Can you hear me?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay.
And we don't have any proof of service on either of the parents.
I was unable to serve Mariah Birchfield, unknown where she's at. And the father, Michael Muncie, has a no contact order with Mariah and both the children.
And how long is that no contact order for?
It's for 1 year and it was just put in place.
All right.
Probably not even 2 months ago.
And you don't know where their mother is at this point?
No, last thing that we've heard from her that she was living in her car at a rest area on off the side of the freeway. Sunday we were going into church and we went through there to see if she was there. Her car was there, but she would not come out of the car. She had the whole thing blocked out. She was in the car with somebody. And yeah, she is just like off the hook. She's her older brother, which is my husband's son, got out of prison a few months back and they connected up. And from what my daughter was telling me, Mariah was telling me, is that Jonathan is her brother, her half brother, not my son, but my husband's son, shot her up with dope and they've been in a sexual relationship ever since. And we're telling Mariah this is wrong. And also she's been in contact with Michael Muncie, the kid's dad, when they have a no contact order. She was able, July, the CPS closed her case in July. She never came and got baby. She told the youngest, Ezekiel, she told us, I don't want him. I never wanted him. You can have him.
Okay, let me stop you a second.
Okay.
At this point, without service on them, and there's a prior order denying the temporary petition, I think the best thing we can do is set this out about a month and you can try and get her served in the meantime.
Okay, and then CPS they reopened her case up again. And she is not following nothing that they wanted me to do. I had talked to her CPS worker and she said that today I need to let you know exactly everything that's going on. And the thing with us is we're having issues with like doctors making like Malachi's got he's got to be put under on the 31st, and they can't do that without the mother there because she's legal guardian. And like school issues, daycare issues.
Okay, ma'am. Yes. What I'm going to do is set this matter for November the November 30th at 10:30, so you can try and get her served. And in the meantime, make sure CPS knows what the status is if they want to pursue a dependency proceeding.
Okay.
All right.
All right. So let them know that it's till November what?
November 30 at 10:30.
November 30th at 10:30. Okay.
All right. So, thank you.
Okay, so we have no legal say over them as is, even though they've been with us for several months. The baby's been with us since he's 2 months old. And he's 10 months old now.
Yeah, I understand they have been, and hopefully you get her served soon.
Okay.
All right,
Okay, thank you, Your Honor. Have a great day.
all right, guardianship of McCoy. And have we got anybody on the Zoom for that? Check and make sure one way or the other. It would appear not. So who all have we got here?
Mallory Smith, what was her? Mrs. Salovich. Deciding.
All right, if you'll come up and have a seat, if you'll come up and have a seat.
Your Honor, Amy Powers for the state of Washington. We haven't entered notice of appearance, but the guardian just started receiving TANF with the kids, so that's why I'm present.
All right, thank you. Have a seat. All right. And Ms. Smith, I think I want to start with you. If you'll step up here, please. Raise your right hand. Do you swear to tell the truth in this proceeding?
I do.
And would you state your name, please?
Mallory Smith.
How long ago were you appointed in this case?
I believe I was appointed in April of 23.
All right. What is going on?
Your Honor, this matter came to the court on a petition from Ms. Yozanovich. The children have known Ms. Yozanovich since approximately July of 2022, but was voluntarily placed in her care in around approximately December of 2022. Both mother and father have a history of substance abuse challenges. Father has a significant history of domestic violence. And I would like for the court to understand that father has been present at some hearings, but has never participated or filed any responsive paperwork. I've reached out to father a couple times and had no response from him.
Okay.
At this juncture, we're at a place where mother has participated in inpatient care, and I believe it's my understanding that she's participating in therapeutic courts to resolve some other matters and to pursue and maintain sobriety. In my conversations with the children, it was shared a prior history of observing substance abuse by mother and father and being involved in very high conflict situations as a result of the substance abuse and that the lifestyle that produces. The children have come to rely on Ms. Yozanovich for the stability and consistency that they've been receiving. I've done a home visit. The children all have their own beds, it's clean, void of any safety concerns. They're engaged in schooling appropriately. They've been able to connect and maintain peer relationships. They do desire to continue to maintain a relationship with mother. However, they have a strong feeling that there just needs to be a significant amount of time where mom can maintain sobriety before they would entertain or desire to entertain overnights or extended time with mom. But they do value being able to see mom with regularity. The children are doing well. They're enrolled in Lexington Elementary. By all reports, they are doing as they should be. And
what has happened in the last couple of weeks?
So from my understanding, the last hearing that we had, it was scheduled, or it was indicated that we needed to schedule this for trial assignment, and no additional filings had been provided by any of the parties. So with that, it was assumed that maybe this matter had no longer had validity, or that there was authority that maybe didn't exist. It's my understanding that mother had came in and taken the youngest child and had him in her care, and with the intent of getting the other two children in her care as well. I don't have any data other than the criminal history searches and those types of things to indicate that anything significant has changed for mother to warrant her gaining care and custody of the children is appropriate at this time.
All right. You have any questions you wish to ask of this witness?
No, I don't think so. No.
Do you have any questions you wish to ask?
I do not, but I do have a piece of paper for you, and I wanted to apologize for how I acted towards you.
That's a good place to start. You should know a heck of a lot better.
Yes, I should. So sorry about
All right, we'll come back to that.
Okay.
Your
Okay.
Honor, if I may, I did file a motion in order to appoint counsel depending on the outcome of this hearing. I think I spoke with Ms. Winkles during the last hearing. She had reached out to me and said, hey, my books are closed, but I'm happy to take this one on because of the complexity. So I did file that. If you don't have that in your records, I'm more than happy to provide that after the hearing for entry. But I just wanted to make the court aware of that.
Thank you.
Okay,
And have you had any contact with the youngest
I have not.
in recently? Okay. Yeah, I'm trying to wrap my brain around all this. No, I don't think so.
Okay.
Mr. Zenovich, if you'll step up, please. You'll raise your right hand. Right hand.
Oh, sorry.
You swear to tell the truth in this proceeding.
I do.
You seated and state your name, please.
Henry Yasanovich.
Okay, so tell me about what's been going on since the 8th, or what happened on the 8th and since.
So on the 8th, Miss Ivy came in through my open garage door, tapped on the door, proceeded to come in, demanded that Braden gather his things, and she was taking him. She said that she had spoken with persons of authority that said that she is the legal guardian. She gave me a Post-it note with the sheriff's number. I called that. Of course, this was a Sunday. I tried dialing that, just was getting voicemail. So I attempted to call 911, but because we kind of live out in the country, unfortunately wasn't able to get anybody to respond well after 30 minutes of her leaving. She
And
left.
Braden's home?
Braden is now 6. His birthday just passed on the 15th.
All right.
I honestly, I was a little shocked and just really taken by the whole thing. She proceeded to tell me while she was in my home that she had spoken with David McCoy, who's their father, who has signed the consent. He signed it back, I think, in May 29th, I believe, who I have maintained contact with. However, at the time he was in jail, he is trying to clean up his record, and he has been actively, he does show up for his visits, basically.
How often?
He comes about twice a month. Doesn't necessarily not on the dates that I had put in the paperwork originally, but we work it out. She had told me that she had been in contact with David and that David agreed with this. That was not truth. That was not the truth. I spoke with David the day after when he got out of jail, and that was not the case. He did not know. And then he was actually served with paperwork while he was in jail. She
And
also
what's going on since the 8th?
Since the 8th, she pulled him from Lexington, which, as you recall, last Thursday, you told her to bring him back to Lexington. Now, I do understand it was not her fault that he's not at Lexington. He's enrolled at Columbia Heights, but that's because Lexington did deny the request because she doesn't live in that district. So she did, by all accounts, make attempts to get him enrolled as per your order, but they denied the request. So at this point, I'll concede to the fact that he probably should stay at Columbia Heights for the rest of the year. I don't want to yank him back and forth. If he is granted, to come home today, I would transport him to and from Columbia Heights Elementary.
And do you know anything about her living situation at all?
I do not. I have been unable to obtain her address. She's given in her paperwork her grandmother's address, which was unservable. Her grandmother does not want to be served there. She does not want paperwork brought to her home. So Miss Ivy was served via email for this hearing.
And has there been any contact between Braden and his siblings?
No, they Mackenzie reached out to Miss Ivy on Braden's birthday, and her response was a picture of her and Braden together. But no, we have not had any contact, and the children are extraordinarily upset about it. Mackenzie cries most days.
Okay. All right, thank you, ma'am. Step down.
Thank you.
All right. Raise your right hand. Do you swear to tell the truth in this proceeding?
Yes, I do.
Sit down. State your name.
My name is Tessa Ivy.
What do you want to tell me?
Well, they do talk over Snapchat, Mackenzie and Braden. He hasn't talked with Colton at all, but we make sure and tell them that they love them and stuff.
How long have you been in drug court?
A couple months, Your Honor.
How much clean time have you got?
I will have 7 months on the 27th.
Was 7 months clean? What on earth made you think that what you just pulled was in your children's best interest?
Your Honor, they do need their mother around. You know, a lot of the visits that we were trying to work out would get canceled, and I
need you to answer my question. You walked into the house without notice, jerked one kid and left two kids there. I want you to explain to me why you think that was a good adult sober thing to do.
So, Your Honor, I didn't just jerk him. I had asked prior and told her prior, because I was trying to get into the Phoenix house at the time, but I'm in a sober Oxford house, women, children, Oxford house. And Braden did say he wanted to be with me. So,
okay, he's sick, so he doesn't make that choice. I'm asking you the same question. What made you think that walking in and grabbing one of your children and leaving two was a good, intelligent, sober decision?
I had talked to several people, and I would love my kids back in my life. The other two weren't.
Whenever
present.
you get around to answering my question, you let me know.
I'm working on being, you know, the best mom I could be, and I really want my children back in my life.
You get the impression that I'm not impressed with how you're going about it?
Yes. I'm doing the best I can.
Which Oxford are you in?
I'm in the Dragonfly house.
How long you been there?
Since June.
What else do you want to tell him?
He would like to spend the weekend with Kendra and the kids.
I can't hear you.
He would like to spend the weekend with Kendra and the kids. Like, I'm not trying to keep anyone from him or anything like that. I've been really cooperative, and I'm not trying to like yank the kids away from each other. I'm not trying to be like that. I'm just.
What do you call what you just did?
Sticking up for myself, Your Honor, and my kids.
Okay. Anything else you want to tell me?
I am in the process of starting a parenting class with Youth and Family Link. I'm just trying to take my life back and get on the right track, Your Honor, and my children are very important to me.
All right, go have a seat.
You want this?
What is it?
It is the letter you want.
Whom?
I'll send him. Emily.
Okay, so that, it sounds like you did what I told you to, so I'm okay with that. Okay. So, ma'am, I'm really at kind of a loss. Okay. Thank God you are in drug court. You have all my appreciation and support for doing that. It's tough what you're trying to accomplish. A lot of people don't make it. I always am very, very impressed and proud of the ones who do. So don't let anything interfere with that. Don't let anything interfere with reestablishing your relations with your children. That includes your own stupid decisions. You understand what I'm saying?
Yes, Your Honor.
Okay. I don't want your children bounced back and forth.
Me neither, Your Honor.
And unfortunately, the way you went about this was about the worst way you possibly could. You didn't walk in and punch somebody. I'll give you credit for that. But beyond that, do you understand the trauma that you caused to all three of your kids?
Believe me, Your Honor, yes, I do.
Okay.
But I'm also trying to make amends and,
No, don't give me a but. I want to make sure that we're on the same page. You understand that what you did, it was traumatic for all three of your kids.
yes, Your Honor.
Okay. From your standpoint, is there anything that the petitioner's doing that you think is underhanded, inappropriate? Does she have your kids' best interest at heart?
I appreciate the time that she's had and was able to take care of them when I was acting out and being irresponsible. Yes, but there's also things that I don't approve of that she does.
Okay.
I'm sober and clean and stuff, and I met her just shortly before my addiction, and I met her and we drink together and everything else. She has pot plants there. She drinks around my children.
Okay.
She takes
You
pills.
placed the kids with her in December, is that right?
My mom did, yeah.
Okay.
And I do appreciate the time, when I wasn't okay.
Ms. Farr, I'm looking for help here. On the one hand, obviously the way she went about grabbing one child was completely inappropriate, didn't show any appreciation for the damage she's doing to her kids. And the next question is what's causing more damage? If I leave things as they are, or if we have the kid up sticks again?
Respectfully, Your Honor, I would maintain that having all three children under the same house would be in the best interest of the children. Those children are very bonded to each other for a plethora of reasons. I think that Mr. Zonovich has done an exceptional job of respecting the parent-child relationship and protecting the children across the board. I think that you would find that Mr. Zonovich would be more than happy to appeal and to abide by any order or ruling that you made to maintain and protect the parent-child relationship and support the children moving forward in a healthy and safe manner. I believe that all three children had good quality relationships in their school and their education. They had good interactions. Mr. Zonovich has made it available for fathers to maintain a relationship with the children despite his continuing substance abuse. He shows up when he's doing okay. The kids have good interactions with that. They're still safe. He agrees with those things. Education, mental health, all of those things will be supported in Mr. Zonovich's care. And I believe that Ms. Ivy will have the potential for a continuing and hopefully improving relationship with the children moving forward.
Ma'am, prior to October 8th, what kind of visitation schedule did you have?
So we were going on what I had originally requested, which is, so Miss Ivy was every other, I think it was Saturday, the first and the third, I think it was, I don't have it in front of me. And then Dad was the opposite on Sundays. I did at one point ask her, once they started football and cross country this year, Mackenzie and Colton, if she could switch days from Saturdays to Sundays, just because sometimes they have practices and meets.
So let me ask another question. Based on what I'm seeing from the kids, will they visit with their mother at this point?
They don't want to go to her home. I've welcomed both parents into my home. And it was, stipulated supervised visitation. I don't cover over them. They have free reign to my house. They can go outside. I mean, I've got 2 acres, so they do whatever they want, just not leave with the kids. And
knowing the Oxford House situation, it would probably be an excellent place for contact. Do you think the kids would go along with what they're told?
I think that they would. Mackenzie right now is very angry with her mom for taking Braden. And, keep in mind, Mackenzie has sort of raised Braden when mom wasn't around and when dad wasn't around. So there's definitely a bond between those two that's unbreakable. So she's very angry. But I think that if I talk to her and make her realize that, these are steps toward repairing the relationship, I think she would be open to it.
Okay. What's the Oxford House rules about visitation with your kids?
They could stay for 2 weeks.
Ma'am, you're very soft-spoken and I'm old and I have bad hearing.
Sorry. They could stay for up to 2 weeks or live with me, Your Honor. I had talked to my older 2 before about staying the night on the weekends, and they were up to that. They were okay with that.
Okay.
They just didn't want to, my older 2 didn't want to jump right back into me, and I understand that. So I'm not trying to push or nothing like that.
Okay. I tried to be very hard on you at the start of this and make you understand how unhappy I am. You understand why?
Yes, Your Honor.
Okay.
I know I messed up.
Now, having said that, you've got what appears to be a phenomenal resource here to help you. I know you've got a phenomenal resource in the Oxford House. I've yet to see an Oxford House that didn't impress that economy. The goal ultimately is that you've got all 3 of your kids back living with you in a, I won't say a normal life, but in a good, loving life that you want, right?
Yes, Your Honor.
Okay. And it doesn't happen overnight. All the same, I don't want to call them slogans because that sounds like I'm demeaning, but all those same things that you're getting taught in treatment and through the drug court program apply very much so to your situation with your kids. Okay. So what I am going to do and what I want to do is try and set this up so that you and your kids have the best chance of establishing that relationship and establishing it as soon as possible. Understood?
Yes, Your Honor.
Okay. So now, having said all that, understand, I hope that what I'm doing is, number one, in your kid's best interest, and your interests are completely secondary to that.
Yes.
Number 2, I hope what I'm doing is in your best interest as well, and I think it is. So what I'm going to order is that Ms. Jelanovich has guardianship over all 3 kids, including Braden. The kids stay with her. Okay. We need to set up a pretty liberal visitation plan to include some overnights at the Oxford House. And again, explain to the kids what that situation is. It's the best possible place for her and to improve that relationship. But I don't want I'm not going to order overnights immediately because I don't want to put the older kids in a position where they're uncomfortable or even worse, resentful.
I understand.
And you've got, obviously you got a little repair work to do with them over the situation with Braden. I understand your desire to fix everything now. But we've got to do it in a manner that's going to be,
Healthy.
in everybody's best interest. How regular is their father at visiting?
Well, he was just in jail for 45 days, so I can't say that it's regular, Your Honor.
Okay.
It's hit or miss sometimes with him.
I guess what I'll say is that given his situation, his contact with children is completely secondary to her contact with children.
Okay,
You understand?
got it. Yep, absolutely.
Ms. Farr, can I put the bulk of the burden on you to not monitor the visitation, but to make sure that the kids it's going well for them and that there's no reason to backpedal? Okay, now let me ask you a question. Do you want to take the burden of expanding this as things go well or not if they don't go well? And that puts a lot on you. And if you don't do what's asked, maybe there's going to be some conflict.
I'm 100% committed to these kids and to seeing Tesla get or maintain her sobriety and a healthy relationship with these kids. I do 100% support that.
Okay, so I've got two options. Option A is I can set up some kind of a schedule now. I'm not there, so I don't know what's, and whatever I set up now, if I do my best, is probably not.
Oh, that's so tiny. I don't even know what you're trying to know.
Good. I hate soda. All right. So it's not going to be, I'll be doing it with a very blunt instrument and not able to see how the kids are doing and make those changes on a weekly basis. So if I leave it to the two of you with Ms. Farr available as the arbiter, if there are problems, are you comfortable with that?
Yes, Your Honor, it's just she's canceled a lot on the visits that I have, so I would appreciate somebody else being there to help. Yeah.
Well,
one time, Your Honor, I've canceled.
Okay, hang on.
There's a free co-parenting app that we can set up. It's called App Close. I'm able to be added to the group and be able to monitor and interject. If we could use that as the means of communication, then we're all saying the same thing in the same place. And any of that can be used, it can be printed out if you needed to use it for the judge's review along the way. It doesn't cost any money for any of us to participate in it. I'm happy to follow up with an email to you guys for the app and kind of set some ground rules in that regard.
Okay, and if everything goes sideways, you can get it back in front of me in pretty short order, but I kind of suspect it's not going to. The people in the Oxford are very helpful. This is obviously something you want to talk with your counselors about, both in terms of how you're feeling about it and how to proceed. And, if you want to go tell them I'm an idiot, you hate me, that's great. Just, make sure that you're telling them where you're at.
I have weekly counseling appointments and all that, and I'm very open about like what I've done and where I'm at today. So
And it may be,
I understand.
It may be that you want some, professional third parties involved with your contact with the two older kids. Everybody's going to have to keep an eye on them and see how they're reacting to it.
My mom would like more visitation with the kids also. So I don't know, I'd like my mom to be a part of that too.
Okay. I am a grandparent, so I understand how much grandparents want to see their grandkids. And I know it's important. It's secondary. to you reestablishing your relationship. Understand what I'm saying?
Yes, Your Honor.
Okay. So I'm really kind of kicking the can down the road from my standpoint. And I think that's the best thing to do a better job than me. Everybody be quiet unless I'm calling your case, please. But it sounds like that's going to be the best way for this to work. Talk to Ms. Farr before you leave. Sign up for the app. Everybody knows how to get back in court if we need to. Have a long talk with Braden. This has been wonderful. Thank you so much. And we're going to see a lot more of each other. But you're going to go stay with your siblings for now. And then go ahead and cry your eyes out tonight and move on tomorrow. Understood? Okay. Any questions?
Only about when Braden, I couldn't hear you, when Braden will come back.
Let's do it over the weekend. Have him go to school at Lexington tomorrow.
Yeah.
Columbia Heights.
Or I'm sorry, Columbia Heights.
So we're gonna keep him at Columbia, right? I'm committed to that, or should we move him back to Lexington?
Well, I'm not sure what the school will let you do.
The school is gonna want, if he's living with me, the school is gonna want him to go to Lexington. However, if you feel and everybody wants him to stay at Columbia, I will do the drive. It'll be inconvenient, but I'll do the drive to keep him at Columbia. We don't live in that district.
Mhm.
So that was the thing with,
Yeah. Again, I'm kind of in the position where I think it's smartest for me to leave that to you guys. If he's doing really well at Columbia Heights, I don't want to interfere with that.
Right.
If that was a problem, maybe we need to reconsider, or, if this is gonna, if the school says change over the Christmas break, or I don't know. But as much as I feel like I'm kind of shirking my responsibility today, it will be better if you guys can make those decisions than if I do.
He is doing really well at Columbia Heights.
Make sure she's on, and Ms. Farr, make sure both are on the list of people who can talk to the school.
Miss Barr, you said?
Yeah.
I thought it was Miss Smith, sorry.
Oh.
Okay,
Yeah. So, but yeah, make sure everybody's on the list.
okay.
And same at Lexington, make sure that their mother can contact the school, find out everything.
the two older ones are actually at Huntington, but.
Okay, Huntington, I apologize.
I would appreciate that.
Yeah.
And okay.
All right. So any questions?
What day would you like me to take Braden there?
I think probably Friday after school when all the kids are around might be a real good time for everybody
Okay.
to say, hey,
Okay,
that makes sense?
yes,
Okay. And I assume the older ones will be looking kindly on you when you bring Braden back, so that might make it work better.
okay,
All right.
thank you.
Thank you all. Keep up the good work, please.
Thank
Just
you.
sudden decisions are often not the best ones, right?
Correct.
Are you going to send the full order then? We don't have one that was presented.
Well, I have an idea for that. So we need the full guardianship order presented. Okay, I'm gonna put this on for next week to do two things. One, so you need to prepare that order, submit it to the clerk's office so I can sign it. Two, if there are any problems at all, I want an update. Three, if everything's going great, I'd appreciate an update, but I don't need to have one.
I do believe there's an order on file already ready for you to sign from back in the original motion when Commissioner Nelson was presiding over it.
I checked before I got in today and I didn't see it.
It should be dated for April, sometime last April.
I'm not,
I do have a copy of it. Yeah, if I could grab it, it's in my briefcase
okay. Well, I want it next week because I want to,
next week. So just
Yeah.
have it ready next
I
week.
want to
Okay.
make sure everything goes well, okay?
Okay.
All right, thank you all. Very much appreciated.
I'm sorry, what day next week?
The next 10:30, same time.
What day?
That
Thursday?
is the 2nd, I believe. Yeah.
November 2nd at 10.
Thursday, the 2nd, 10:30.
In person again?
Or on Zoom.
Well, I'll have to be in person. 'cause I
Yeah,
have to bring-
normally Zoom. But if you're here, I'd love to hear from you.
Could I by chance get that wrote down?
I'm sorry.
Could I by chance get that wrote down?
Sure.
Thank you.
I can help some follow-up emails at the hearing date. Send all that for you, so you have it.
Okay, I'd appreciate that. Thank you. Thank you, Your Honor.
Thank you.
So I will be up Friday at 5 o'clock. Okay.
And stop by the drug court office, tell them what's going down. Tell them I told them to put you down for a gold star.
Thank you.
All right, good luck.
Thank you.
I see an awful lot of people on here, but we have no more cases.
Your Honor, Roy Flay on the Ryan matter, I emailed your judicial assistant since I think it was urgent for the court to know, but we did receive documentation regarding the guardianship from California. I emailed it to your judicial assistant to show to you. It does not appear, Your Honor, that it was signed by any judge, nor was in a court system at all. It's just a document written and signed by Lauren Ryan, her mother, and then 2 witnesses in the state of Oregon, which also is strange that it wasn't signed in California. So,
Okay, give me half a second. I just saw it here.
understood, Your Honor.
All right, so Ms. Mitchell, what I'm looking at appears to be just a private document between you and the children's mother and a protection order against their father that has nothing to do with the Englishes. Is that right?
No, the protection order is against Matt and Brooke English, both of who are felons who actually did this particular action, Your Honor. And it protects myself.
Okay, I'm not seeing them as respondents on a protection order. Am I missing something?
Your Honor, I looked at the protection order. They did include a section for my clients, but it was purely for civil harassment. I also think it's important to note, Your Honor, that it was filed after our minor guardianship had been filed. So it seems, I mean, we can leave the merits up to that later, but it does seem reactionary to the fact of timing when this was originally filed.
No, sir, that's not correct. The reason is the constant harassment that they did against me. I'm sorry, sir.
Well, I'm going to maintain our emergency guardianship here. I don't think this really puts us in a UCCJEA position, but it does create some issues for Mr. Flay to sort out in terms of how he's going to go about it. that, Ms. Mitchell, you need to understand that based on these documents, you don't have any sort of court established right to those children. You understand that?
Your Honor, it has been submitted to the San Diego Superior Court. I have a date on January 11th.
Ma'am,
Yes, sorry.
if there are any other proceedings going on, I strongly urge you to get those documents to Mr. Flay.
Okay,
Based on the documents that we've got here right now, you understand there is no court order that gives you any authority over those children. You understand that?
yes, it's just one child, but Your Honor, jurisdictionally, she's been living with me for over 6 months.
Your
She hasn't
Honor,
lived in
I'm
Alex
going to
in a year and
object
a
to this.
half.
I
Ms.
think
Mitchell,
there's a
that's a
credibility.
whole different issue. I'm not addressing those issues right now. I can't address those issues right now.
Okay.
I just want to make sure you understand what those documents mean, what they don't mean. You
Oh,
understand?
yes, sir. I
Okay.
understand, but I just want to keep Emma safe. She's going to school. She's doing great. I don't want the Englishes to disrupt her life. She doesn't even know these people at
Your Honor, I'll
all.
object to this.
Never had a relationship
But Ms.
with them.
Mitchell, there will be a time for a hearing if you're going to pursue it in California. Otherwise, sounds like it's going to be up here for me. So this isn't the time for that hearing, but I just want to make sure you understand where you stand legally. Right?
I do, Your Honor. However, I just want to make sure the Englishes do not try to take her.
That's where we stop. This is where we stand legally, right?
Okay.
And
And
Your Honor,
the emergency protection order doesn't mean anything, the California that covers those two people from being with this child?
As I said, this is where you are right now.
Okay,
Your Honor, I
I'll
just
have
want to
my-
clarify, are we in the same position as last time, or is Emma required to be surrendered over to the care of my client?
Can't do that to her.
That's what the orders would provide at this point, but you're going to have to go through the steps to enforce those.
Your Honor, could we,
State of California.
I guess the question is, we don't actually know that she's there. I think there's a huge credibility issue here because the guardianship document that they proposed was signed in July. Miss Mitchell's claiming she's been there since April. I guess.
I understand your conundrum. Before I put anybody under oath and ask them to tell me where the child is, there's all sorts of Fifth Amendment issues there. So I don't think I'm in a position to do that today. I'm going to sign an order extending the emergency guardianship. I'm going to make that good through November 16, and we will see where we are at on that date.
Judge, I have a question.
Yes, sir.
Was a GAL ever appointed in this case?
Doesn't look like it. I'm
just wondering if that would be appropriate.
We haven't had the opportunity given Ms. Ryan's obstruction in this case. So there was really.
Unless and until we find a child somewhere, I don't think I'm gonna get that process started. We're still not far along the road here. So November 16th, and I will sign an order extending the emergency guardianship.
November 16th, Your Honor, is the next hearing date.
I'm sorry?
That will be, you said letters are extended to them, but is that also the next hearing date?
Yes, sir.
Thank you, Your Honor.
All right, that will be all.